we are going to record this session so that anybody who's not here can join us. I needed a reminder. I knew I needed that. I cannot record, but Lisa, I think, is recording for us.
We are all set and recording is going.
Perfect. I knew I would forget that part. I even said, you're going to have to remind me to record. All right. So just a few housekeeping rules. If you're not already, please make sure you mute yourself so that we do not have any echoes. Feel free, as Valerie is going over things, if you have any questions, either place it in the chat box or use the raised hand symbol.
Okay, let me know when you're ready for me, and I can share a page that we created.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, and then that way now, welcome Valerie, and she is up. She will help us.
And one of the things I want you guys to know is we don't want you to stress about these pages. I don't want you to get, thinking that we would never take down a page. Our main concern is just compliance. And I've seen the pages that you guys have created. They're amazing. And you've put a lot of work into them. So I have been thinking about this because Stephanie had reached out to me a couple of months ago. So I started thinking maybe we can look at these pages a little bit differently. And some of you might have been on. I was just saying that to Stephanie, that our biggest concern on some of our school websites is like duplicate information, and the parent thinks that they're on a school messenger page and it has like official district, say, kind of information. And then all of a sudden they're jumped to a Google page, and it's a page that doesn't get scanned with our scanning tool for compliance. But because these pages, the parent can tell that it's, even though you guys are district employees, it's not a school messenger page. And we did this when we were creating pages for the Choice Showcase. We added like a disclaimer so that we kind of would look over the Google page and we would say, okay, it looks like maybe this area needs to be checked for compliance. Can you add, like, all images need to have alt text? And that's one of the concerns that we had. So I'm going to share a page that we had created for Berkshire Media Center, and I can just show you. So this is what we would kind of do. Now the landing page, of course, we can make it a little bit more flashy, add more images, but let me just find this and share it.
I also believe that I think Carolyn's on here. If I think I saw her, if she has anything else to add when you share the page, right? She's at Berkshire?
No, that's Millie Blanco.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to share it right now. Let me know if you can see it.
We're good.
Okay, so this is, the landing page. And like I said, this page, we definitely could add images. But I don't know, how often do you update your pages, or are you in there a lot, or once you create the page, is it just minor edits?
They're usually minor edits. The bulk of the work goes into creating it, and then, of course, maintaining the links and everything.
And our goal, of course, would be to mimic your page. So we're not saying, listen, you got to take that Google page and you got to do it our way. Our goal is to make it look the way you want it to look. But the big thing is that then you guys would need, if we create the school messenger page, you would need to be trained to edit. And it's not really that difficult to edit the content, add images. And we could do all that. We could create the page. We could maintain the page for you. Or we could train you and work together with you to maintain. So it's not like we're saying it's got to be in School Messenger and it's going to be up to you. We can create all the pages. but well, like I was saying to Stephanie, I kind of would like to look at all the Google sites and just kind of give them a quick QC, maybe over the next week or so, and just see, and maybe get with somebody on the Google team and see if we can find out if the pages are compliant, and maybe we can add a disclaimer saying this page was created in Google. If you run into any compliance issues, reach out to Valerie. That's what we did with the choice. We just had them reached out to me. No one reached out. So there were no issues from anyone on the public with the pages. So, if that would be something you'd like me to do, just kind of go over all the different pages, your Google sites, and then kind of QC them and say, I see minor fixes, and maybe just add a disclaimer instead of, but if you say, you know what, I want a school messenger page, we will absolutely start creating that page for you.
So after our training here, I will be sending out a Google Forms sheet, so that, and letting me know whether or not you're interested or not in creating sort of a page that will piggyback off of your school website. Now, those of you that took the selection policy training in January, and those of you that took it yesterday, start thinking about again how transparent your library is going to have to become, and all the different things that are going to have to be made readily available for all the families and all the parents. So this might be actually the easiest way for you to have sort of your information. And like she said, she can create it. It can be even on the website, a direct link to Destiny. So just start thinking about sort of the pros and cons of creating a library media page that is connected to the school's already set website.
So Valerie, there was just a question in the chat. It said, if we have a Google site for the library, would it be wise to just take it down?
You don't need to take it down right now. No, I mean, why don't, if you want to send them and I could look at all of them, that's what, do you have a library site, a Google that you could share? I could stop sharing.
Sure, hang on.
Lisa, did you want to share or do you want me to share?
You can share.
All right.
All right, so this is Emerald Coves, and I believe we have Amy on the call today too.
So could you share that link? Could you actually chat it to me? Because I want to pop it up on my other computer here.
I got it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
So obviously she keeps up with it regularly. She's got all the books on there, connecting to the library.
Got our ebooks next.
Then connects to our ebooks, different learning links, and then games. So you'll be able to create, even within your library, different links. I mean, different in School Messenger, different links for all your different pages, like in Google's.
Yeah. So like we could actually, we could duplicate this page and make it look the same way. It's a little different, say, there's the tabs on the top. I mean, we could create like a special media center page. So it's a full width page like the other one, the Berkshire, you saw they had the links on the left. So we probably could, we could create, it's just those links at the top would be a little bit different how we might have to, but the images and everything. See, for us, like when you hover over an image, there's usually there's alt text. So it tells you what's going on. But I'm pretty sure the Google site has the ability for you to add alt text. So it's just a tag that says, what that image is. Like if you hover over our banner photo on the homepage, it will say, whatever that image is, Black History Month. But maybe yours, you can't see it, but it could be there.
And that again is that's the ADA compliance.
Exactly. And the important thing is not for us to see it, but if a person using a screen reader, that screen reader can see it. And I think when you're in Google edit mode, it does give you the option to add that. But see, we can't check that because, so you would need to make sure that when you're in your edit mode on your Google site there, that all those images have alt text. This site actually looks pretty good. Part of the problem on some of those where they have the little emojis and sometimes some of them move and pop up. Believe it or not, some of those, one of the reasons we don't use GIFs is they can cause seizures because of the movement and the colors. I mean, for us looking at it, it looks fine, but it's just, what we've been told and we've had ADA training. You just got to watch out for those.
So Valerie, as I'm looking and I was playing with our own library current, as you're adding a photo, you can definitely add alt text and a caption.
Excellent. So that would be great. Like if everyone knew, because I'm looking at this and everything, there's nothing like moving. A lot of times that's what causes issues if there's any kind of movement going on the page.
And then someone wants to know if you can highlight exactly what is involved with ADA compliance when creating websites.
So the main things, like I said, for all images have to have alt text. That's the key thing, is that if someone is on your site and they're using a screen reader, so they can't see the site, that screen reader needs to be able to read everything. So a screen reader, if I'm on your homepage of this Emerald Cove, where it's the top, Emerald Cove Media Center, if that image says, fluttering pages, that's what the screen reader would pick up. So that's what's really important, to make sure that it's kind of behind the scenes information is there. Like for us in School Messenger, if I add an image, I have to add that alt text. It doesn't allow me to publish the page without it.
Lisa, since you have it pulled up, can you present and show an example of if they're going to keep their Google site, what they need to add to the pictures in order to be able
Sure, absolutely. So let me go into.
Let me just add that question from Laura. So we do virtual training, and we work around your schedule. So if you say, this is the time that works best for me, we will schedule that training for you.
All right. So if you're adding a photo, I would you'll go to insert an image. You'll upload. Find it. Just a random picture. If you click those three dots, you can select add alt text. And then I might say little bits and apply. And now if I publish it, and I apologize for the Wi-Fi, it's not so great here. If I were to preview this and then scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there's quite a few of these. You need inspiration for your own website. I don't want to go too fast and make anyone nauseous. So now when I hover over this photo, it doesn't appear to be showing me because I did add the alt text, and then maybe it doesn't work in publish mode. I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
you know what? It doesn't necessarily. I've had this conversation with my director. She says, there's no alt text. There's certain banner portlets that we can use that it doesn't show. Like, we don't need to see it, but the screen reader needs to read it.
Okay.
So as long as you put that in that field, if I went on that site with the screen reader would read it and you guys would be fine. But the thing is that if you don't put it in there, then the page is not compliant. So it's really just a matter of going through and checking to make sure all your images have that alt text.
Right. Looks like a quick, easy fix.
Yes.
There was another question if there's actually a screen reader that they can download to sort of test run their website to see if it will pick it up.
You know what? There is. Let me, you know what I'll do? I'll email that to you. I don't have it bookmarked. I do, but not on this laptop. It's like it's a free where you can enter a URL into it, and then it gives you, your errors.
And that will include alt text errors?
Yeah, and
Okay.
some of them you can ignore. They might be, I can't think of one right now, but what I'll do is I'll enter the URL for the Emerald Cove and then say, here's an error, and they're saying that this, it could be a font that, sometimes they pick up things that are fine.
Right. So we had a couple of questions, and somebody said they came on late. Can we use Google Sites on the website, but we just have to make alt text, or can we not link to a Google site from our district sites?
So what I'm going to say that I'm going to work with you guys, and because I feel like these are specialty pages, off of your school's website. So I would like to, if you, like I was saying earlier, if you could send me links to all of the pages, or I think that one site, your main page has a link to all of them, and I will review them and just say, the main thing is make sure all of your images have alt text. And then maybe we can come up with, maybe I'll reach out to general counsel, because they're the ones that help draft that bulletin about compliance, and say, these are specialty pages. They're not really, they're separate. They're part of the school, but it's, it's a media center page. Can we add a line of text, on the website, on the page, on the bottom, kind of a disclaimer? And this way, if anybody runs into any issues, we're telling the person that we'll work with you. If somebody says my screen reader's not reading any of this, then we'll work on fixing that page. So let me check with him, because your pages are very extensive. The alt text, it should, that last question there.
So, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just checking to see like if you have a picture or photo that you took of a class or something that you want to upload, which you do. So that would be alt text as well.
Yeah, like that was you, Lisa, right? It showed us.
Okay.
Yeah, so it looks
Okay.
like in the editing software of Google, you can definitely add it.
Okay. Thank you.
So the question is, even the Bitmoji needs an alt text, correct?
Yeah, so that's where you got to be a little careful with some of those Bitmojis. That's when there's a lot going on. Like I haven't seen one in a while, but when we were doing, when the students were at home, I remember seeing like one that was like a banner size, and there was all this kind of going on in the image. So it was hard. I don't know if if you have a Bitmoji that's large, as long as each one you could add alt text to.
Perfect.
So at this time, the floor is open for any questions. And again, think about if you want to do a school messenger site, because I will be sending out a form after this and shortly.
And maybe
Any time for
we can do a little of both.
Right.
Like some Google and some, school messenger. Maybe make a landing page for school messenger that then opens up into the media site, because you guys have put a lot of work in these pages, and the last thing you need to do is, like I said, I do not want you to stress about these, and we'll work with you, and I'll even work on making sure that your Google pages are compliant. But don't tell anybody else that I'm letting these stay. I'm joking.
Laura?
She actually answered my question. My question was going to be, if we decided to keep the Google page, would there be a landing page in School Messenger? So we could still tell everyone just to go to our homepage in School Messenger and then link to our Google site.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, that maybe, like, I'm going to check with general counsel. Maybe I can add just, you ask you guys to add a general statement at the bottom that just this way, we're giving anybody from the public that might be on the page that says they can't read it the opportunity to reach out to us.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
sure. But like, if anyone wants us to, we're always here to help you in any way in School Messenger. And also, like I'll look at, like I said, all of your Google pages and just kind of see how they are. Like the Emerald Cove looks great. As long as all those images have alt text, those look great. So
it's really a quick fix to put that into compliance.
yeah. But, I'm letting, like I said, I've been thinking about this for, I think it was a couple months ago that Stephanie reached out and thought, maybe there's a way we can make this work, because they're specialty pages, and it's not like you're duplicating the information on the school website. That's where we were running into problems, that pages were being created that were already on the school website. And it was like our district information. So that's where we were running into compliance issues.
Understood.
All right. So Betty wants to know what's QC. Valerie kept mentioning QCs earlier.
So I will just, it's quality control. I'll just look at each one of your media sites, the Google sites, and just say, just number one. Like, so for Emerald Cove, I would say just make sure all the images have alt text. And so the Bitmojis, I'm going to try to do a little bit more research on those. How do I know, how can I confirm that the Bitmoji is compliant? And so I'll just give a list and say, here's my concerns about this Google page.
Kathleen, I added the bulletin to the emails about today's topic, but I can go ahead and resend that to you if you need a copy of the bulletin. All right. Anything else? All right, so just to value everybody's time, we'll go ahead and start closing up. Okay, excellent. I will, when I send out the Google form, I'll also just attach the bulletin to it as well so that everybody has a new copy of the bulletin that came out. It came out in December, so it was a while ago. So it might even help to refresh and to look at it.
And feel free, any of you guys on this meeting, you can reach out to me and, anytime you want, give me a call. And we're here to assist in any way we can.
Thank you so very much.
So Lisa, you want to talk about
Absolutely.
our last and final chance?
Yes. If you have yet to attend the
Lisa, you're muted.
Lisa, you're on mute.
it's that kind of day. Our final session for the year is on March 21st from 12 to 3 at Dwyer High School. Please, if you haven't attended, consider attending that session because you need to attend before we can release your 3070 funds to you next year, as well as submitting your collection development plan.
Lisa, I'm not sure I've been to it before. How do I?
There was one on January 27th. There was one yesterday. And there's one on the 21st of March. Check your e-learning and see if you were there. Okay.
Okay. All right. I don't think I was. I wasn't at those 2 dates. So they were given 3 times. Is that what you're saying?
This is the 3rd time. Yes.
Oh, all right. Because I noticed like the email from Stephanie, it says you either go in person or if you've done it, then you go online. It was like confusing.
So there is a selection collection development training. If you haven't been, there is also an online training for inventory that day.
We're dividing and conquering. So if you've already been to the selection, feel free to join me to go over inventory. Or if you need a refresher for inventory, or if you've never done inventory before, you need to know how to set it up, parameters, questions, answers. But this is President. So if you have not gone to the selection and collection development training yet, that needs to be number 1 on your list. My session is going to be recorded. And then actually, the next day is actually our next Topical Tuesday, which is where we'll have sort of office hours and questions and answers for inventory if you are not able to make it to the inventory training on the 21st.
All right. It says elementary on there. What is?
It's the same information.
Okay.
Because
So it's
we had one for designated for elementary, one designated for secondary. We wanted to get the secondary one done quicker. That is the only difference.
okay. So it will either show up that I've done it. I don't know. I'm getting all mixed up with that. I mean, I have to do it every year. Every time we do a 3070, I have to take it.
This is a completely different training from the beginning of the year. This was about a 2-hour training, not the 10-minute video.
Okay.
And we taught, well, there's all kinds of information in it.
So it's
I'll
12 to
check
3. Yeah.
I will check my registrations and see if
Okay.
okay.
All right. Thanks.
Alonso?
All right, guys.
Lisa, I think I did the collection development training. I just went in e-learning to check and it said in progress. Does that mean?
Then you were there.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you haven't yet joined Emma, please consider joining Emma. We are planning our end of the year celebration of media specialists. That is coming. Details to follow. And please continue tagging us on Twitter. We absolutely love seeing everything that you are putting out there. There is so much going on and you are sharing so much more than ever before. And it's so wonderful to see. Use the hashtag #LoveMyLibraryPBCSD, and we track that as well. Kathleen?
The follow-up documentation, is that the collection development plan that we're uploading?
That is exactly it.
That's
The
what I thought,
follow-up is a collection development plan.
as a PDF.
You got it.
Okay, thanks. That's what I thought.
You're welcome. If you want points for Topical Tuesday, register in e-learning. You can get up to 20 points. And there is only one follow-up document, and it's a fairly simple one. It shouldn't take you very long. And if you haven't made some of the sessions and you're watching online, that's fine too. So feel free to register, watch them at your leisure, do the follow-up, and you can get up to 20 points. Our next session is a really, really great one. We're going to be welcoming the News Literacy Project and Checkology to our Topical Tuesday, and we are kicking off our now partnership with them on March 8th. We are launching this curriculum through library media centers and with our media specialists. So please, please, please come to that one. It is March 8th. And on March 22nd, we will have our inventory help session following Stephanie's professional development on inventory. And that is all we have for today. If there are any last questions, feel free to unmute.
Valerie is going to stay on for an extra few minutes if anybody would like to ask her any additional questions.
Betty, go ahead.
It wasn't about this, but Twitter. How do you get it to stop sending all the Twitter messages to you? Like every time somebody posts something, it sends me an email.
You need to go on in your settings and choose not to get notifications. It's a setting. I don't know the exact setting. I'm sorry, Betty.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? If not, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.